Hey guys, this is Sanam here and welcome to my channel Public Void Geek. Today we're gonna learn about the demo screen or the onboarding screen that you see on certain apps when you launch them for the first time. You see a set of instructions coming on the app as the overlay or 2-3 pages slider, and once you're done with it you never see them again and they're gone from the app. So this is how it's gonna look like. We'll have an image here, uh, the title, some text, and then three screen, uh, dots, the slider dots. So if you scroll, you're gonna see this transition effect. Uh, like if I'm doing from here, from right to left, you will see the effect coming from right to left, and if I go from left to right, it comes from left to right. So this effect, how to create this, and then if I click on done, we go to our main app, right? And we'll also see some persistent data. So if I close this app now and I go back to demo screen, you will see the main app coming up directly. So we don't have that demo screen popping up again, right? So that's what we're going to learn in this video. So this is what we're going to build, and let's get started. Alright, so let's begin. So in order to make the onboarding screen, we would need a couple of things. First is the Cocoapods, and second is our assets that we're gonna put on the onboarding screen. So let's get started. Let's open up our Xcode. And let's create a new project. Single view application is fine. And let's call it, what should we call it? Let's say demo screen. Yep, demo screen is fine. Next, Swift is okay. Create the project. So we have our project here now, as you can see, and we have our images right over here. So these all are the assets that we're going to use, and I will share these with you in the description. So okay, let's quickly import these assets. You can see these are the assets. So let's import it. Let's go to assets.exe assets and import all of these. So as you can see, we have 1x, 2x, 3x for all the different images that we're going to use. Now, as I said that we would need Cocoapods, so let's do that. Um, there is a very good pod which is called Paper Onboarding. So we're going to use that pod. So let's go to google.com and search for Paper Onboarding Swift 4. I think this is the one. Let's go and check. Yeah, this is the pod that we need. It's called Paper Onboarding. So as you can see, we need this particular line in our pod file, and let's do that now in terminal. So we'll go to desktop and then demo screen, pod init, and then vi pod file. Under use frameworks, we'll put this, and then pod install. It's installing uh, Paper Onboarding 3.0.0, and the pod is installed. You can see here we have our XC workspace, so we'll be using that from now on since we have already integrated our Cocoapods. So open demoscreen.exe workspace. And you can see in frameworks we have our, in pods we have our uh, all the files for this Cocopod. It's called paper onboarding. So let's get started with this. Let's go to our main.storyboard. First of all, we're going to rename this to let's call it demo screen, right, or demo page basically, or screen. Screen is fine, demo screen. And I'll change all of this, although this is comment section, we can leave it like that only, but I'll still change it. So demo screen, and let's change this as well to demo screen. So yeah, we also need to change the view controller file here, so we need to change the class file. We'll change it to demo screen. Okay, cool. So let's add another view controller. Why I'm adding these, why we have these two view controllers is because this is the view controller which will show our demo screen or the onboarding screen, whereas this is where you enter as the main app after you're done with the onboarding, right? So this is going to be the second view controller where we segue after completing the onboarding, right? And let's create a class for that, but I think we don't need class for that right now, so let's just create a label there, right? So let's call it main app, right? So alright, so our main app is there. Let's align it as well. So the whole idea is that we do all our onboarding stuff on this demo screen, and once we are done, we click on a button, and we are segued over to the main app. And once we are done with demo screen, we should never be able to see this demo screen as well. So this is also part of the video that we will be doing. So in order to use this Cocoapods, which is onboarding, paper onboarding, let's go and check out the documentation of this. So let's head back to google.com, paper onboarding Swift 4. We're not going to follow it completely, but we would still need to go through it, or because of few things like this. So okay, let's begin. So in our demo screen.swift, we need to import. So let's first build our project once so that the Cocopod is compiled. So let's also do this, import paper onboarding. So it's called paper underscore onboarding. This is what we need. Let's do a build, and let's go back to our main storyboard. And for some reason our main storyboard is completely messed up. Okay, so we need to put a UI view here, which is gonna be of a custom class. Right, so let's put a UI view. Let's make it completely fully covered with the background. So it's gonna be 0 0 0, and make sure you uncheck constraints to margin. So now our UI view is ready. Let's create a file, new file, and let it be a Cocoa Touch class. It's gonna inherit from paper pods dummy paper onboarding, and this one will be called onboarding view class. Although we don't need to write it such a big name, but uh, let's go with it for now. Make sure your target is selected and then create. Okay, our own onboarding class is ready. We don't, yeah, we'll change it from here to paper. We need to import paper onboarding, and then we'll change it to paper onboarding here. So now we are, so that view that we created, the UI view, it's gonna be of this particular class, and this class is further um, inheriting from paper onboarding. So this is how this pod works. So our class is called onboarding view class, right? And now let's create the IB outlet. We don't need this, don't need this. So let's create the outlets. Let's call it onboarding obj, that's like object, onboarding object, and connect. So our class is the UI view is ready. Now we need to do you can say we need to set the protocol and delegates here, and the delegate methods here, so that we can use the functions given by this pod. So in order to do that, let's create an extension. You can do it right over here, but I'll be creating an extension and then do it. So let's call it demo screen. So let's call it demo screen. It's called paper onboarding data source. We would be using paper onboarding delegate as well, but later on, not right now. As you can see, we have an error now. Let's make it full screen first. So we have an error here, and we're gonna fix it soon. Expected identifier for the type name view controller.swift. I thought we changed it already. Let's try to build and see what is the problem. Yeah, there was no error like that. It's just Xcode is playing with us. That's it. So let's fix this. So now we have two delegate functions here, or data source functions right now. Same like UI table view, where you give data source and delegate. So over here the functions are almost similar to that. So first one is items.count. So how many screens do you want in the UI view is gonna come from onboarding items count. And the second function is onboarding item at index. So this is where we're gonna display that, okay, screen 0, or the screen 1 will have this content, screen 2 will have this content, and screen 3 will have this content. So this is what we're gonna show, or this is what the function we're gonna use to do that part, or to do that functionality for us. So for now, this one requires a return value of integer. So let's just return 1 for now. So that we can see if the screen is working fine, or the first the first screen is working fine or not. So we're gonna do that. Whereas this one, it requires onboarding item info. So this is what it is asking as a return value. So let's go and check what does this mean. So in order to check that, I'm holding command and then double clicking on this onboarding item info and then clicking on jump to definition. So this is what onboarding item info wants. So first thing it wants is a UI image. Second thing is a string, which is the title. Third is the description, and then is the icon name, which is the small icon at the bottom, and then the color is the background, then title color and description color, title font and description font. So these are the things that are required uh, by onboarding item info. I'm just gonna copy this and keep it in handy with like this, so that I know what all things to be given. So let's go back to our demo screen.swift file and let's start coding this part. So first thing first, in order to use the data source, we would need to uh, set a data source. We need to set a data source here. So we're gonna call it onboarding obj dot data source. But why did I call it obj? It should be view. Anyways, it's okay. Self, right? So we have onboarding obj dot data source equal to self. So now the data source can be set. So let's set few things now. First thing it's asking here is the image string. Okay, so let's set a background color. So we'll have three screens, right? So we'll set three three background colors. So let bg1 is equal to color literal. We can use the color literal, I guess. We should be able to use it, but let's see. Let's use this one for now. It's okay, I guess. Okay, let pg2 is equal to color literal, and let's use this one. This one, I guess, is okay. And let bg3 is equal to color literal, and let's make this one. Yeah, I'm not sure how these color combinations gonna look like, but let's just try and let's see. Okay, another thing that we need is the font. So um, let title is the big one, so let's say title font is equal to it's gonna be UI font name. So for fonts, let's go and check out the good fonts. uh, iOS fonts, I think Helvetica New is okay for us, but we would need the exact name. So let's search here. Helvetica. There's Helvetica New. So we have this. So let's use Helvetica New Bold. That's the font that we need to use. Let's copy it and let's use this right over here. And let's make a font size of 18. 18 looks okay. Another one will be DESC font, which is description font, which is gonna be the same but not bold, and the size is gonna be smaller than that one. So it's gonna be this one. See, we have a space here, so we need to make sure that the space is not there uh, while we are putting it in our project. So here, and let's make a font of 14, and we're gonna unwrap it because we know the font exists. These are the default fonts that come in your iOS device and in our Xcode or in your Mac as well. Right. So I think we have the basic requirements in our that we need to uh, fire up this project, or you know display it on the device. So let's just give the return values. So return value is gonna be an array. So array, the first element of the array is gonna be the first screen. The second element is gonna be the second screen, and the third will be the third screen, right? So let's do like that, and let's make it like this. So the first thing that it wants is an image, I believe. Yeah, there's an image, the big image that they want. So let's give that. Uh, so instead of doing this, we can just go for the image name. Right over here we have the image name, so we can give it the image of um, bottles. So it's called illustration. So let's do illustration. So we have given that. Second thing is, so this image literal is also another good thing that you know I don't know, like I'm not sure if it's really good or bad, but it works. Another thing is string, so that's the title that they want. So let's say beer, and then what's the next thing that they need? Beer, and then the description. So beer is awesome. Again, this is just demo content, guys. uh, you're not gonna put all of this in your final project. So icon name, this is the small icon that is going to show at the bottom, the three circles. So inside that, this is the image that is going to show up. So I have that image already, it's called active. So I'll put the active image here. This is the one, and then the other one is called active, and then the UI color, it needs the background color now. So let's give it the color bg1, and then bg1, and then color, title color. So it needs the title color. Let's give the title color also here. So let text color is equal to uh, color literal white is okay. So title color is gonna be text color basically, and after text color we have description color, which is gonna be same text color, and title font, we have our title font with us. It's called title font, then I guess it should be the description font, and the description font DSC font. So let's try to run this, and let's see if it crashes. Oh, see, we have an error now. Onboarding item info, onboarding item info. So it needs an image. We have given the image. It needs the title. Title is done. Description is done. Icon image is done, and color is bg1 done. Title color, so this is title color, and then description color, title font, description font with array literal. Let's see now. Oh, I think it's working now. So what I just did is added the index value of this array, so that it will show the first element, that is the 0th element. Still loading, and we have our first screen, so that's good. Uh, First screen of onboarding. Uh, all we need to do now for the second screen is, it's gonna be exactly the same except for one thing. So let's just copy all of this, actually do till comma, put it here, and then put here, and then one more, and then remove comma. So this is what we're gonna do. This one was beer, so let's do, what's the second image? It's called post, so let's put post now. Post. And this one was cards or card, so it's called card 1. uh, Post, and post is awesome. Card, and card is awesome. This one is gonna be pg2, pg3. Text color is gonna be same, title, font, and everything is gonna be same. Now uh, we are hard coding uh, the element that we want to show from this array. So instead of that, we're going to use the index, which is coming right from here. So we'll put the index over here. So if screen 1 is selected, this is the one that is going to be shown up. If screen 2 is selected, this one. Screen 3, then this one, right? So change the return to how many screens we have. So we have 3 screens, right? 1 2 3. Let's try and see if it works this time. So you can see coming with great animation, and so looks good. So this thing is working now. We do have some other delicate methods that you can use to further customize the effects and everything, but we're gonna go with the standard effects. So now we need uh, few more things to fully uh, optimize the onboarding screen. I'm not gonna change this. I know this doesn't look good, the small dot at the bottom, but it's okay for now. So what we want to do is we want to create a completion button. So let's say we put a button here or here, somewhere we need to put a button. So when we tap on the button, we go to our main app, and then if we run the app again, we should never see this onboarding screen. So this is the next task that we will be handling. Alright guys, our video is already around 28 minutes or 30 minutes, so I'm gonna pause it now here, and we'll continue in the second part of this onboarding series, and I'll see you there. Until then, bye bye, take care.